Coffee note. It started when his parents divorced when he was 6. Woman's mom came out as a lesbian, and while his dad didn't fault her for that, he was still heartbroken and needed time to be normal around her. This brought both twins in a complicated situation as they split their time between households, one of which slowly included more and more time with their mom's girlfriend. Remus just rolled with the punches and tested the limits of this poor woman they'd one day call mom, just to vent any complicated thoughts he might have about how this affected their dad. Woman got handed a link to an online penpal program by a teacher who saw him withdraw in himself. And that's how he met Stormcloud. Stormcloud was his age, and diagnosed with generalized anxiety, which his friend explained to him as a mean roommate in his head who made him think everything was terrible and everyone hated him. Later, through therapy, he changed mean to overly concerned. But at the time, Roman jumped on the opportunity to be a knight to this boy he only just met, earning him the nickname Princey, which he took on as his pen name instead of Sunshine, his parents' nickname for him. Stormcloud was okay with Roman not wanting to talk about why he was in this program to connect kids who were struggling. They soon exchanged email addresses they'd both made just to talk to one another. They talked about Disney and other shows they watched, even had live watch parties when possible. They talked about school and hobbies, and Roman reassured his friend when his thoughts were spiraling, no matter the hour. And when Roman got his first crush on a boy, he woke Stormcloud up to freak out on what his dad would say, finally relaying the whole divorce story that got them to meet. And his friend coached him through coming out and later celebrated his dad being okay with it, and later still comforted him when he got turned down. Stormcloud helped him explore his gender, and he was the first to know of their journey into different pronouns. When Stormcloud moved, Roman was there to be her lifeline through every step of the way. They were both in college now, and Roman was seeking his old friend's support in his latest romantic pursuit, the cute barista on campus, Virgil Winters. Virgil had probably been crushing on his pen pal on and off ever since he was old enough to have a crush. Right now, that crush was on though, and it made it hard to be as supportive as he wanted to be of their friend's much more sensible crush on a real life person. Some super hot, funny, cool, smart, charming dreamboat he shared a few classes with, and who worked on his college's campus. Virgil really needed to get a grip on himself. He tucked away a strand of purple hair behind their ear. They had gone for a half mask, half femme, half all emo cut on Princess suggestion 2 years ago, when they were freaking out over a hairstyle that felt right no matter what. They were agender mostly, but some days she leaned more one way or the other. Today she was a bit more girly, hence her wearing the skirt version of the coffee shop's uniform. Hola, Virgil! Virgil looked up to his favorite regular. Hi, babes! Remy, his older brother and supervisor, greeted cheerily. Roman was in the college theater group, acting alongside Remy and under firm direction of Virgil's closest IRL friend and roommate, Janice, both of whom were trying to get the freshman rising star to fall for them. Meanwhile, Roman often chose to spend breaks chatting with Virgil, who was putting his graphic design minor to use by designing backgrounds and posters for the play. He was fun and cute. Virgil could easily see that. He was also very patient when he had a bad at people day, content with just eating his snack alongside him. Virgil even showed him some of their unfinished sketches. Some things she didn't even voluntarily offer to Remy. Heck, Princey had barely seen any of their finished work, though their old pen pal got them see some of her more personal creations. Woman was a sweetheart, and very obviously not interested in the little contest between his co-star and his assistant director. Remy? He nodded, though his eyes focused on Virgil. What can I get you today, Roman? Virgil smiled, elbowing their brother so he'd stop pouting and do useful supervisor stuff. Ro never ordered from him. Virgil wouldn't either with how blatant his brother was trying to get in Roman's pants. He was starting to feel conflicted about her complicity in this situation, considering she would consider Roman a friend. They shared a few classes and had done a few group projects together over the past year. Virgil was considering suggesting to study together for their shared finals. Time to get out of their comfort zone and put effort in making and maintaining a friend outside of a computer screen. The usual. And your dashing company for the evening? Roman asked with a charming smile. That's literally the only way to describe it. What's tonight? Virgil asked as he turned and made Roman's usual. Well, I was thinking dinner and a walk through the park. Their usually effortlessly sociable schoolmate quiet awkwardly. Virgil's movement stopped as she realized what was going on. Shut up, Remy whispered, astonished. Virgil's mind, meanwhile, was racing as they continued to order, mentally giving themselves until he put down the cup in front of Roman to make up their minds. Roman was handsome and sweet, and they got along great. He was a little hung up on Princey, sure, but if she was honest about that to Roman and they could make things go slow. She focused a moment on the fact that Roman liked them, had for a while if they looked back. And in truth, the thought made her feel a little giddy. The only real reason Vi had to say no was, they're going to kill me, they whispered to herself as Vi made their decision. She put down the order. No promises, no expectations? They asked nervously. This was her first time being asked out. She didn't quite know how to act right now. Roman nodded, adorably excited. Of course! Virgil bit her lip. Then pick me a Patrick's, she said as she scribbled down their door number on the receipt. Roman was beaming when he nodded, paid, and left with a spring in his step. So freaking cute. Rubius flabbergasted. Virgil smirked. I talked to him, was all she said before directing their attention to the next customer walking in, humming happily through the rest of their shift. Remy forgave her fairly quickly. Jen wasn't angry, but he was pouting. And no help. So, hoping Princey was available for advice, she opened her Princey exclusive mail and was greeted with a slew of excited I have a date type messages. And considering how their day had gone, that didn't sting nearly as much as it could have. Awesome, dude. Guess Dreamboat is a smart cookie then. On a minorly related topic, fashion advice. Feeling femme today, but on an outing with a gay man. I want to impress. Bob? It wasn't too long before she got a reply. Good, famous you feel good in. If he's worth your time, he'll think you're gorgeous when you are feeling yourself. Wear the dress, the makeup, the jewels, the heels, do the whole shebang. Make him question his sexuality. Virgil giggled. What would I do without you? She sent. Despair. P.S. We are taking it slow. Cologne and flowers too much? Virgil rolled his eyes. Cologne is fine. Maybe one flower and not a red rose? Brilliant! Want my muse to feel special but not overwhelmed, you know? He was nervous, clearly. Well, your Adonis is on a date with you. I'd feel special already. Aw, stop! Thanks, Stormcloud. Good luck tonight for you too, by the way. I want all the details. Can't believe you are wooing a Prince Charming of your own and didn't tell me. Worried I'd be jealous? Nah, didn't realize I was doing any wooing. Told you about my brother's latest hobby. Turns out his target was more interested in me. He's pretty cool and really sweet. You'd approve. And Virgil was 100% sure of that. She ended up parting her hair to the other side after their shower, making it look long on both sides. And with some brushing, her face was framed by purple waves. She picked up a natural color for their lips and just a touch of purple on her eyes. A modest wing, some mascara, for a more feminine gaze. She picked a black skirt that ended just above the knee and felt light to wear and had some volume to it, due to the double layer in the model. They had some modest black heels, and with a pounding heart they got out a pink top that was fringed at the waistline, which kinda gave the illusion that there was any to speak of. It was sleeveless and had a V-neck with a ring on the center, and it made this ensemble the most unapologetically femme they could muster. She'd put in silver lightning bolt stud earrings, and after spraying a lavender perfume, mostly to suit her nerves, she did her nails with a clear coat to fill up the remaining time. And just as they blew their nails dry, they noticed Jay snap a pic. What's that for? She demanded, flustered. Jay held up his finger and typed something. Way too soon after he was done, there were running footsteps down the hall and a bang on their door. Jen opened it with a grin and in stumbled Remy wide-eyed. My little bro knows how to look pretty? Why was I not informed? Oh, curse! Years of hair braiding, you cruel, cruel monster! Remy whined as he took in Virgil's appearance. Is it too much? I just... Remy threw up his hands. You look fab, and Dude's a lucky guy. Just not too lucky, okay? Virgil punched his brother's shoulders. Just because I am femme today doesn't mean you can go all patriarchal older brother on me, she hissed. Okay, okay, point taken. Just know, no matter the pronouns, I will always throw hands with someone who disrespects and or hurts you. Remy promises, more serious than Virgil had ever seen him. They look away embarrassed. Yeah, thanks or something, she muttered. Then there was another knock on the door. Quick and light. Virgil looked at her phone. He was 5 minutes early. She grabbed her Sally purse and rushed to the door before the other two could embarrass her. Someone's eager, Remy muttered approvingly. Virgil wasn't sure who he was referring to. Maybe both. It didn't matter. What mattered was woman standing in their doorway with gelled black hair, a white button down with the top three buttons undone, black slacks with a gold belt, and a red jacket over his arm, his free hand holding a purple lily which he almost dropped to the floor along with his jaw when he took Virgil in. Right, the skirt was barely noticeable at work, and she hadn't been comfortable going all out in public since coming here. Woman might not have realized that this side of them existed. Forgive me, I am. May I once again ask for your pronouns? Roman asked with a bow. Virgil smiled appreciatively. Any are good. Though I happen to lean more femme today, she explained, nerves subsiding just a bit. Roman nods. Excellent, milady. His eyes scanned her face for a reaction. Virgil kind of felt really excited about the idea of Roman putting his legendary nickname down into ways to affirm Virgil's gender identity tonight. I brought you a flower, Roman stated suddenly, a bit too loud, seemingly only now remembering that fact. Virgil giggled. You did, she agreed as she took it. Jay, will you put it away in some water for me, please? They asked. And why can't you? Janice asked. Because I am not leaving him alone with the two of you for a second, Virgil stated. Jay huffed but did as he was asked. Let's go before he comes back, she suggested urgently. Yes, sure, Roman agreed, offering his arm, which Virgil happily took. Bye, they called as they shut the door. What was that about? Roman wondered as they walked down the hall. Virgil shrugged. Didn't want to risk either of them taking a final shot at you. I'm kinda sure Remy wouldn't, but she might still consider you fair game. Woman looked confused. Didn't you notice those two shamelessly flirting with you all year? They asked with a little surprised laugh. Woman looked away with a blush. I was a little distracted, I suppose, he confessed. Oh, was all Virgil could say to that, a little ticklish feeling in his chest. It's a thing they have. Jay's lived here for ages, so when Remy got on the dating scene here last year, they bumped into each other and became each other's wingmen. If they like the same person, then it's a bit of a game who can get that person to approach them first. They explained more elaborately. And did you partake in this game? The woman asked hesitantly. Virgil chuckled and shook her head. Me? Flirting? With my anxiety? Nah. If I thought you might be into either of them, I'd given you a heads up. You didn't strike me as a hookup kind of guy. Woman relaxed. I'm not, he agreed, and he left the building. He cleared his throat and turned to face her. In all the excitement, I failed to tell you. You look gorgeous, he offered as he bowed again and kissed her hand. Virgil was sure as he turned brighter at that. Thanks. You look really handsome too, they offered, as they took Roman's arm again and let him lead the way. Well, the company's more than worth a little effort, he said smoothly. Wow. The evening went pleasant. Roman took her to a nice Italian place, and there was a silent agreement not to talk about heavy topics. So they talked favorite movies and pet peeves, and the evening just flew by. They were walking through the park, Roman's jacket over Virgil's shoulders, both stalling the end of their evening. Okay, I promise I'm not being sappy, Roman said as they at last approached the dorms. But I feel like I've known you for ages, he confessed, sounding very sappy. But Virgil didn't mind. Uh-huh, he smiled, willing to let him have this one, because they understood. The night had been so effortless. No, I mean it. Listen, does storm clouds mean anything to you? Virgil stopped in their tracks. Quincy? She asked, face bright red. Woman let out a laugh. Oh my God, it is you! What are the odds? Virgil laughed along. Big enough, she stated. This, this is amazing. At least if you aren't opposed to a second date with that on the table, Roman asked hopefully. Virgil grinned. The whole reason I wanted to make sure we could go slow is because I was still a bit hung up on my crush on you. Roman's grin looked painful. You have a crush on me? The graphic designer slash aspiring psychologist nodded with a blush. Yeah. Roman got a bold look. Well, in that case, may I be so bold as to go for a good night kiss? Virgil's breath caught, and after a moment's hesitation, she nodded. Roman took them by the waist with one hand, cradling her face with the other, and gently brushed his lips across his cheek. Good night, he whispered before letting her go and walking away with a confidence that left her breathless. They went up to their dorm, finding the gossip brigade asleep on the couch. They got changed and headed to bed as quietly as they could. Before turning off the lights, they checked their phone. They had mail. Not to brag, but my date was way hotter than yours. Virgil giggled. They could stay up for a little longer.